Okay, Gerard, keep on sharing. Exciting new social media. He's gonna get me going and get me started. And take it away, Gerard.
Good
Gerard.
morning. How are you doing? So normally we do this in three parts. The first part is about 10 minutes to get to know you and what your business does to make sure that it fits in with the people that we have on our site and you're going to get a strong engagement. The second part is we tell you about us, again, about 10 minutes or so. And the third part is we get your free advertising on our site. Those are the three parts. So
I
first,
love it.
first, can you tell me a little bit about what your business is and we'll see how we can work with it.
New Life Financial Alliance and New Life Financial Planning is a fee-based fiduciary financial planning firm. So
Terrific.
we help people optimize their Social Security, optimize their income in retirement, maximize their investments, and reduce their taxes, and all kinds of really super fun, exciting things like that.
That sounds interesting. On what do you service both small businesses, medium, large? Where's your like niche?
We do individuals and small business. We can also do 401k MEPs and PEPs, which are the new 401ks. Many people have never even heard of them before, but yeah, we do it. We're full service, multi-functioning firm.
Oh, terrific. The what we're going to do on our site is we're going to send people to someplace. Do you have a website, a specific website we can send them?
NewLifeFinancialPlanning.com.
Can you throw that and the email you want in the chat, just so
Okay,
I can just so I can grab it fast?
sure. Um, Let me bounce out of here and lifefinancialplanning.com. Got it. Copy and chat and
Perfect.
BRYAN at BRYANDAY.com. Oops, spelled it wrong.
No worries.
Cool.
Okay. Perfect. Okay. So we got about 40,000. Our company started in 2021. We went to beta in January of 2023. We went live in August of 2023. We had two sort of founding groups that came on. So I think that you're going to go well with at least one of the groups and possibly the second one as well. The two big founding groups that we came on was my wife is a CEO, and she does a tremendous amount of charity work, and she works with a lot of female business owners, Gaffey, Heartlink, just a large quantity. So the first group that really came on big with us is about 40,000 female business owners. So we just have a lot of them. It's, small businesses, medium businesses. And then the second group, we have one of our partners is a woman named Cynthia Rothrock, and she is a sort of a big movie star in the martial arts industry. So about 100,000 martial artists came on. So we have these sort of two big groups of sort of fitness instructors and yoga instructors, martial artists, and then female business owners. Since that time frame, it's been all kinds of mixes going all over the place. All right, I think I got a little bit about what you're going to do and where we're going with you. So let me tell you a little bit about what we do. We switch over and we share my screen. Share. Share screen. Here we go. Get this out of the way and move this over here. Okay, so I'll tell you a little bit about what Keep On Sharing is. Keep On Sharing is similar to any other social network. You can add posts, you can add your business, people conversations, likes, shares, chats, comments, all the general stuff you'd see on pretty much any social network. We call ourselves an ethical social network, and there's very specifically three reasons. The first thing is that we do not sell or share any user data. As you know, Facebook and other social networks are continuously selling your data over and over. And from our point of view, we're really trying to get a movement to treat people more like partners and not products, to give a more ethical social treatment of how users are on social networking. The second thing, which is a really big thing, is that we share 50% of all revenue back with the users and the people who refer them. That means every time that we make money on our site for any reason, we pay those people involved. So for example, even when you're scrolling by ads on our site, we're making money off those ads. People put advertising money into that and we're making money. But because of that, we share it back with you. So in this case, if you share, today when we get you online, which I think you're already on. So, but when we get you online, you'll make like a few cents here, a few cents there. And when you do, it also is shared with the people who referred you. So in this case, it was Amberly brought me to you and Alejandra brought her to us. I brought her to them. And on top of that is our charity. So when you make a few cents on our site, so did Amberly, so did Alejandra, so did me, and so does the charity. That's how our system works. One of the things that we talk about is that Facebook has 73,000 engineers. They have 32,000 programmers. We have 3. So we don't have all the bells and whistles, not all, we just don't look as pretty. We always say that we may not look as pretty, but at least we're paying you. Right? That's sort of the big difference. One of the things we talk about also is Instagram. So when Instagram first started, it had about 100,000 users, and a regular person, a blue collar worker, a regular, just a worker, not a celebrity, not a big, influencer, introduced Snoop Dogg to Instagram. And Instagram went from about 100,000 users to about 4 million users in the time frame of about 90 days. And that was entirely because Snoop brought on all of the people that were following him. And he also brought in a whole bunch of other celebrities. And that was amazing. It really exploded Instagram at the time. And the thing is that Snoop was never paid for that. And neither was the blue collar worker who originally introduced that person, to introduce Snoop into that network. And the reason is because most social networks, I'll use YouTube for example, you have to constantly produce content. So for example, you put 2,000 hours on, 10,000 followers, and what they'll do is they'll take an ad and they'll put it on your content, and then they'll share revenue with you of that content. That of that ad, and that's great if you're a big influencer and you do a ton of just an absolute massive amount of content. But in Snoop's case, when he created all of those users on Instagram, those users weren't just looking at his content. At that time, they were going to the Kardashians or PewDiePie. They were going all over the place, and of course, they're looking at all the ads and other things that are on Instagram. So that's who we concentrate on. The big difference between how we make our payouts is that we base it on referrals and not on just the content. And because we talk about, like, if I go to Joe's Pizza and I think it's really good and I tell you, and you go to Joe's Pizza, the only reason you went to Joe's Pizza is because of me. And really, that's the person we focus on. So for us, it's all about networking. Everything is about networking. Our entire base, we have about 250,000 users, and everything has been through grassroots. People inviting other people, sending us to networks, big charities. That's what we do. Any questions so far? Pretty straightforward
No,
so
it's
far.
great. Yeah, I love it.
So one of the things we talk about, and I'm going to talk about advertising. Today we're going to give you free advertising, but what I'm going to talk about is how we make money, and more specifically, how we pay people on our site that want to do networking. So the big thing here is, according to Forbes magazine, the average person sees between 4,000 and 10,000 ads a day, which is literally mind-boggling, just the quantity. The majority of those come from Facebook and some of the big social networks. Facebook, depending on which platform you're on, their mobile site, their website, which phone you're on, they'll show an ad every 2, 3, or 5 posts. And so that means every time you're scrolling by, there's an ad every 2, 3, or 5 posts. And a lot of those are what we call stealth ads, which they look like content, but they're really an ad that was paid for through Facebook. If you drill down on it, you realize that, oh yeah, that's an ad. We do an ad every 8, and it's got a big red line, and on that red line it says, this is a sponsored ad. So it's very, very straightforward when it shows on our side. There are 3 types of ways you can do advertising on social networks. You can do it by impression, you can do it by engagement, or you can do it by sale. Impression is just something that scrolled by your screen. Engagement means someone liked it, shared it, they bounced to your site, they did something. And then sale obviously is a sale of a product. Each one is about 100-to-1 ratio. So about 100 impressions will get you 1 engagement, 100 engagements will get you about 1 sale, depending on your business. On our site, we only do impressions, because if you're spending your time and we're wasting your time because you saw an ad on our screen, then we got paid for it, you're going to get paid for it. It's all about treating people like partners. Any big questions so far? So far, so good?
Sounds good.
All right. Good news is I only got 2 screens, so 2 slides. So everything on our site, on average, if you do impression advertising on other social networks, they range between 1 and 10 cents. On our site, everything is 1 cent. So people can advertise for as little as $1. It's really easy to advertise on our site. On our site, now that's great for advertisers, but let me talk about really the people and how networking works on our site. So if you spend about an hour and a half on our site, you'll see about 400 ads, not 4,000 like you'd see on Facebook, but about 400 ads. With that, each ad generates about 1 cent. That means that a person spending about an hour and a half on our site will actually generate about $4 in total revenue. Of that, we split it 50-50. Our company keeps $2. And that's how we pay our overhead. That's how we keep our lights on. That pays our salaries. That's where the company makes all its money. The other $2 is split evenly. $1 to the person who's actually seeing all the ads and scrolling by and doing things, and the other dollar goes to the network. That means if you spend an hour and a half or so on our site every single day, you'll make about $200 or $300 a year, and that's great. No one's going to live off that money, but it's sure as heck a lot more than Facebook is paying you. Facebook is not paying you $1 every day. They're not sending you a check. Well, we are, and that's good. But the real, if people want to sort of engage in making money on our site, it's all about the referral network. It's all about that other $1. And this is my last slide, or my last slide for this. And so this is how that referral network works. This is exactly how it gets paid out and how it works. I use the example of 5 people. I invite Steve. Steve invites Charlie. Charlie invites Anthony. Anthony invites Kathy. Now, me, Steve, Charlie, and Anthony, we don't do anything. We're not content producers. We're not influencers. We don't even make posts. We basically do nothing. But Kathy, on the other hand, she might be a big influencer. She might be a big charity. She might be a network similar to what on your network. She might be a business, something. She represents a lot of people. But the thing is, if it wasn't for me, Steve, Charlie, and Anthony, we'd never get to the Kathys. And that's what we're looking for. That's what our whole system is all about. So we make sure that me, Steve, Charlie, and Anthony are paid. And I'll show you exactly how that's done right now. So we talk about Kathy maybe being an influencer on like TikTok or something, and she posts an event and she'll say, follow me on Instagram, follow me on Facebook, follow me. And we want her to do the same thing. Follow me on KeepOnSharing. No different. Follow me here, follow me there, follow me here. So she's going to post her content on our site as well. And we talk about 1% of those people coming over to KeepOnSharing and actually using the site. That means that those 1,000 people will generate about $1,000 a day. In that $1,000 a day, Kathy is the hard worker. She's the one that's actually doing the content or the whatever that thing is. She's the one that's bringing in people. Because of that, she picks up 50% of that number. So about $500 a day. The other 500 is simply split by the people it took to get you there, to get to Kathy. That's it. That's how we make our payments. That's how our system works. So in this case, $500 will be split by 5 people. Me, Steve, Charlie, Anthony, and above everybody is a nonprofit charity. So divides by 5. So that $500 will be divided by 5. Each person pick up about $100 a day. Any big questions so far?
Oh, sounds good.
All right, I'm going to finish it off here. So one of the things that we do a little bit different is we like pass-throughs, and we love charities too. So pass-throughs on places like Facebook, they don't like pass-throughs. So if you post your podcast or your business over on Facebook over and over again, they're going to stop showing it to your users. They're going to stop showing it to your followers. They'll demonetize you. You may end up in Facebook jail because they don't like you leaving their network. Because if you stay on their network, that's when they make money. Even when you see things that look like articles, sometimes you might see like Facebook.article.something. It's because they have an affiliate program specifically to keep that article on their site. But we love pass-throughs. It's all about but leaving our site and going to that person's business, leaving our site, going to that person's charity. We really like that. I'll give you two quick examples. One is, let's say you sell candles on eBay and eBay or Etsy or something, and you have like 200 customers. If you take those 200 customers and you refer them back to eBay or Etsy, they'll give you an overwhelmingly small commission, and that commission can only be applied on their site. But with us, if you bring those 200 people in, not only will, if they buy from your competitors on our site, or if they scroll by any ads or post anything or post about their kids, every time they do anything on our site, you'll get paid for that. And that's a big difference. That's why we love networks. We love large quantity people, big charities, anything that brings people to our site. We have a charity here in Southern California that does a walk for breast cancer. And it's a 24-hour walk, and they do they got a lot of people together. The area that we're in is a pretty big event, and they have about 20,000 people between all the sponsors and all the walkers and everything else. They make about $200,000 on the event. The event happens usually on a Saturday, and because it's a 24-hour thing, and your team walks. And by Monday morning, they've collected their money, and now they're going to go start advertising to the next site, Texas, New York. They're going to go do the event someplace else. And that's great. That's how they work. Well, now it looks like they're going to start working through us. And the only difference is that event, whatever poster, whatever, creation they created that they send out and they do their email advertising to, the only thing is that they're using our link instead. So what happens is, as we talk about a pass through, those 20,000 people come to our site, they pass through over to the charity. So there's no money or anything collected on our site. They go over to the charity, they pay on the charity, and the charity collects all the money on their side. So when the event's done, not much changes. The difference comes Monday morning. Monday morning, those 20,000 users are now registered underneath that charity on our site. Now, not everyone's going to use our site, but any of those 20,000 people post something, watch something, follow somebody, scroll by ads, buy something, sell something, anything they do on our site, that charity will continue to pick up revenue forever. Anything it's done because of those 20,000 people. So now when they go to the next event, they add another 20,000, next event. So what they do is they're building up a large quantity of people that are registered to that charity on our site. And anything they do continues to put money towards that site, even though that they're not picking up even though they're still picking up whatever their event money is. All right. So we're all about inviting customers. We want your customers here. That's our whole thing. Any big questions so far? So far, so good. I always check for questions along the way.
No, we're doing great. So
Okay.
we want to invite not only friends, family, network, colleagues, we also want to invite charity.
Charities, businesses. One of the interesting things on our site is that every single user can give free advertising to businesses. Now, each business can only accept free advertising one time. But like, for example, you can invite 20 or 30 businesses, and you can give free advertising to all 20 or 30 of those businesses. It's all part of how our invite system works. We treat advertising as an ice cream store. We want to give out that free sample and see if you get engagement. Does what you're showing on our site engage with our users? Do people start coming to you? Do they start, do they start landing on your site? Do they start, buying your products? If they do, you'll come back and we'd like you to do advertising with us if it works. But if it doesn't, it didn't cost you anything. That's sort of our sort of ice cream parlor event. Paid ads do take priority over free ads, about 3 to 1. So for when a page loads up on our site, there's 4 ads on it. 1 is free, 3 are paid. Now, there's no difference on how they're done. The only difference is how quickly through the system the ads are processed. That's it. So free advertising takes a little bit longer to process through our system than the paid ads, but it processes the exact same way. One of the last things is that we have it's very, it's sort of fun. You'll make money on our site every single day, guaranteed. Why? Because even if you log in just to see how much money you made, you'll literally have loaded up some ads and you got paid by it. It may only be a couple cents or a couple, maybe half a cent. But the bottom line is you always make money. You'll see a little gold coin. The gold coin is, you click on that, it'll show what you've made. And there's a little red number up top, and that'll tell you how many times you've been paid. Now, it's not only how many times you've been paid for the stuff that's on your site, but any referrals that you brought in, anybody you referred, you get paid every time they do things. So that'll also show in there. Now, you won't see who was paid because, again, we have a very strong data security, and we don't share that data. So, you won't know who did what, but you still get paid for it, and you'll show what you get paid for it. All right. So far, any questions?
Nope, sounds good.
Okay. I'm going to, this is what I know you have a very large network that you run, and it's a really spectacular one. We have met some amazing people. I think from your one event alone, we picked up 20 people, which is just phenomenal. So far, they're really liking it. One of the things I'm going to do is I'm going to show you a quick minute and a half thing that we showed influencers. We do presentations, influencers, charities, people who sell stuff. I'm going to show you this because I think it makes the most sense. Let me see. Can you hear?
KeepOnSharing.com is the
Yes.
first truly ethical social network. It's a new all-in-one social network with an integrated marketplace that allows users to make money sharing fun content, listing products, services, or even paid or free events. Influencers are an important part of the KOS culture. In the modern world, followers and influence have a very important impact on today's society. As such, macro-influencers have an incredible ability to market products and services. But even micro-influencers have a huge influence on their very dedicated followers. Many influencers have agents, similar to movie stars and music artists. Influencer agents will find that KOS's referral program not only helps their influencers, but also directly benefits them as well. KOS has a unique referral program. That means that when anyone who is not already a member signs up, they will become the referral of that influencer. And since the agent is the referral of their influencers, the agent will gain the same referral commissions that their influencer receives on any revenues generated in their network. This means that if the new member referred to the Keep On Sharing network ever buys, sells, or even watches any ads, the influencer and their agent will both get paid. This also goes for anyone that the new member refers, and so on. This commission applies to any revenues generated from their entire referral network forever. The benefits of listing an event on Keep On Sharing are not only that the listing is free, but people can donate to the event, or the event can be designated as a charity event to raise awareness or funds for the influencer's charity of choice. The major difference between Keep On Sharing and anything else out there is that we share 50% of all revenues back with our users who created and shared that content, no matter how that revenue is generated. You're not just our customer, you're our partner.
Like I said, we have ones for charities, but I figured influencer was more networking and more in your network, your forte.
I love it.
Okay, so normally at this point, what we normally do is we do two things. This is what the site looks like. It's content in the middle. It's very simple, and then when you get to a big red line, can you see that red line on the screen?
Yep.
That's an ad. So you got paid, or I get paid because this is on my screen. Because it's loaded up, here's the content. Because that was shown on my screen and was loaded in front of me, I get paid for that. And the people that referred me get paid for that. That's how our system works. Normally, what I normally do here is I do an invite, and I tell you ways you can invite people. You can invite people through you can invite people multiple ways. You can invite people through referral codes. You can invite people's URLs. By far, the best way to invite people is with the invite now. These referral codes, what happens is when you send that in a text or an email or someplace else, when the person gets here, they look at our site. If they register, and here's the big question, if they register while they're on our site, then you are automatically become their referral. But if you do the invite now, what it does is if you put their email in, and I'll put your email in here on the chat, or if I can find it again. Where did it go?
Brian at briandaily.com.
Got it. Oh, yeah, there you go.
BRYAN at BRYANDALY.com. Yep.
So if I put in just your email, then it's a personal invite. I hit invite. The person will get an email, and an email that says something like Gerard St. Germain. It'll show my picture because it's my profile. I'm the one inviting them. So it'll be your picture or your profile picture. It'll say, it has invited you to the Keep on Sharing network. Click here to verify your email, or click here to verify. And then on the bottom, it'll be, there's a 1-minute video, tells a little bit about who we are. And that's great. But if you put their website in, and you hit check for image. Now, I don't know if your website will show this or not because your financial planning, I don't know what it does. But if you say check for image, what it will do is it goes out to their website. Your site did not feed back any metadata. If it doesn't feed back any metadata, there'll be this K in here. If it fed back metadata, it would tell about your site and it would show an image from your site. If it doesn't show anything, you can just type in anything. It doesn't really matter because at that point, we're going to show you, you'll see what it looks like. So when you put in their website, click on check for image, it will not only create an ad for them, but it will also invite them as a business invite. It'll say something like Gerard St. Germain has shared your business with the Keep on Sharing network. Click here to verify your posting. Verify your listing. So I'm going to send this to you. Now you're already on, so you've already filled in a lot of this information, but I'll show you what it's going to do. And you can check your email if you want to show your email. Usually what I do at this point on normal calls is I go out and we switch screens. I stop sharing, the other person shares, and I walk them through the process. But in this case, I can do it for you over here. As an admin, I'm going to switch over to you here as an admin. And we're going to do a couple things. What I normally do, this is as if it's on normally shared your screen. I have them click on their name, and then we go to the actual ad, whatever that ad is, and we have them edit it. You can edit the ad, and you can edit that post and change whatever text you want. You can add in whatever images you want, and at the bottom, it'll say how much was given to you as an advertising. In this case, it was $10 in advertising, and here this one's been out here for a few days apparently. So $10 in advertising. Each ad's 1 penny, and that means that it's going to show the ad 1,000 times. And in this case, like I said, this one's been out here for a few days. So this ad has been viewed 210 times, and it's got 7 engagements. And engagements could be like, share, or they went to your website. And this is really what you're looking for, obviously, on whenever you're doing advertising, is more of what type of engagement are you getting? And it's also good. There's 2 sets of engagement you want to look for. One is just how much people are liking and sharing you, but the other one is really how many times they went to your website. From our point of view, like I said, when we give out free advertising, it's all about like an ice cream parlor. So it's all about wanting to make sure that you start feeling, your people start coming to you and say, hey, I found you on Keep on Sharing. This is where I found you. Now, right now, as an admin, I logged in as you. And so just so I can show because you're recording this. So a couple of things that we do after we get the person's ad running, get it all set, make sure they're happy with the way it looks and what it's doing. There's a button that says verify listing. Now you've already done that, so I can't show it, and that's okay. But the other thing we do is we have them go into their profile. And if it's okay, I'm going to go into your profile. I won't show you your password or anything. Is that okay?
Yeah.
Okay. So when you go into the profile, we don't hold a lot of information. All we have is an image that whatever your profile image is, your public name. Your public name can be anything you want. Short introduction is 60 characters. It's basically 1 sentence of 60 characters of whatever you want to say. The extended introduction is a much more, it's unlimited. People put resumes in. They put a whole bunch of information in. If you don't mind, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to your website. I'm going to jump over here, go to your website. I'm just going to grab some text from your website. Again, just for demo purposes. Here we go.
I've got, okay.
Whatever you want.
I do have my bio in there too, about us.
Okay. Oh, all right. Let's do that. Where's that? Oh, about us. Perfect.
About us. Yeah, just click on the About Us above it.
Okay.
Yeah. And then down. Nope, maybe that's not it. Okay, do whatever.
Okay, so it doesn't really make too much of a difference. What I'm going to do is I'm going to grab a new financial planning philosophy. I'm just going to grab this first paragraph for the moment. And again, users can, at any time, they can change anything they want. They can modify this. So I'm going to do 2 things. I'm going to drop this in here. You can grab this little thing if you want to sort of stretch it out and see more information and sort of fit it better and put, enter keys and stuff like that. And I'm going to grab this, and I'm just, for the moment, I'm just going to put this in here. Oops, put it right there. Get it right. Keywords are like financial. Oops, if I spell it right, financial. Did I spell it right? Financial.
Yeah.
I spell it right. Financial planning. Planning. Anything that you want on like hashtags and things. And I'll show you where this stuff's gonna go. I'm just gonna capitalize your name for the moment. And the only two things we keep on you, we keep a total of 3 things on you for cookies. And the cookies are your preferences here, and what your filters are on the outside on the next page. So there's nothing else kept on you from that side. The 2 things here are email notifications and remember me. And email notifications are, we only send 3 types of emails. We don't spam emails. We don't send advertising through emails. The 3 emails we send are the invite, if you forget your password, and then if you're a seller and you sell something on our marketplace, we tell you that somebody bought it. That's the only emails we send. So keeping your email notifications on or off is almost irrelevant. You're not going to get anything from us. The remember me is strictly a matter of whether or not you want it to automatically log back in or whether or not you want to put your password back in the next time you come on our site. That's what that is. Same thing with Facebook and most other social networks. All right, so I'm going to say save. Obviously, you should put a password in. And you do have a password in. It just it won't show, and that's exactly what we want. So at this point, what you're going to see is the new information I put here, which just shows under your name. That's the short introduction. The long introduction will show up here, whatever that is, whatever we put in for the long. The only other thing we would say here is I'm going to put like this right here is I'm going to mark this as a personal link, and I'll show you what that means. There's private and personal. A private post will show to nobody. Nobody will see it unless you invite them. So we have 2 groups. We have the main content area and we have private. In the private, you have to invite people. So if you mark something as private, nobody will see it. So don't mark stuff as private unless you want to make it specifically there. Also, our AI bots do not monitor the private chats at all. There's nothing in there. In the primary content area, it's family-friendly, appropriate content. Our AI bots will look for non-appropriate content. But in personal is the one I want to talk about here. When you mark something as personal, I'll show you what that does. And let me refresh the screen here. So when you mark something as personal, it tags it to the bottom here. And that tag is so that it marks it. Things that you normally would mark as personal, like maybe your Facebook link, your podcast, in this case, your network, anything that you want to be tagged with you. So you might have, if you think of it like Facebook, you might have thousands and thousands of posts, but the bottom line is there are a couple that you want to always be up top and be sticky to you. All right. Other than that, the money. So you've already been paid. Normally, when we do this presentation, the person's usually been paid like 5 times or 10 times, and they made a few cents. I haven't. So right now you have 58 cents since the last time you did something in here. You can see on the if you click on here, it'll tell you which ads were loaded up on your screen. So you got paid 11.38 cents. So 11% of 1 cent because this ad was on your screen at some point. And that's how our system works. Now, in this case, so you were referred by Amberly. Amberly was referred by Alejandra. I referred Alejandra, and our charity is our referral, which means of this 58 cents, Amberly made 58 cents, Alejandra made 58 cents, I made 58 cents, and our charity made 58 cents. That's how our networks works. And if you had another 100 people underneath you from the other side, then whatever money they make on their side, it would flow down to you the same way. It would split evenly across.
Is there any way for me to know how many people I've referred?
You've referred, yes. So when you refer somebody directly, it comes up under a table saying my followers. And so right now there are 3 people underneath direct referrals, but their indirect referrals will not show. And so what you got is probably a lot of indirect referrals. I know you've got over 20 businesses that are indirect referrals where somebody else referred them in there. So those don't show. The other thing is because if they get sent to me, they won't immediately follow you. And it sounds a strange thing, but when that's what happens a lot of times is people will send people to me. And since I'm doing the demo, I do the invite. And so they rack up as my follower initially, and then I transfer them in the background to make sure that they're under you for the referral. So sometimes when people send people to my calendar, they won't show as their follower, but they're still actually following them. because it comes off initially as mine. Okay, any other big questions? If not, I'll go to the
Well,
next
I
step.
saw the email invite. Is there a way to
Yep.
is there a way to invite using social media, like posting
Yes.
on Facebook?
Yep. You can do that with this link. So for example, I'm going to show you, I'm going to go to the main section here for a second. And what I'll show you is I'm going to actually click on somebody else. Let's say Heim. I can't pronounce his name. I'll make sure. Oh, Steve Mass. That's fine. So if I go to Steve Mass and I say either refer, or I can just do content. Like I'll grab some of his content. He's got a content here, and I'll share this content. I'll say refer a copy, and it's just going to create. It's going to be this URL. But when you copy the URL, either from yourself or in this case, like even I'm referring somebody else, and I drop it in again into email, into social media, into wherever you want. What'll happen is when they click on it, they'll come straight back to that spot. So you can literally put just your business. You can actually just put your link to your business so they see your posts only, or when they first come in. Any type of,
And then if they join, they end up in part of my network.
that's correct. Yep. And so for what do I call it? For the tech savvy out there, the URL has two parts. The where it says equals, that it's passing a parameter to the computer. The UR part tells the computer where it's going to go. Like I want to go to this person's post, or I want to go to this person's profile, their settings. The second part of the UR, the R, that is the encrypted referral code. And so what this is saying is come to KeepOnSharing, go to this post and refer this person. So when the person comes here, they automatically get referred underneath you. Does that make sense?
Yep. I love it.
All right. I don't want to take up too much more of your time, and I will gladly help people. On the side, I'll go a little bit on the side here. We have highlighted members. These are members who are doing just something amazing in one form or another. There's also a whole group of videos, introduction videos, influencer videos like the one you saw. There's one about charities, how charities can make money. There's also an In the News, which is just us in the news. And so if you click on that, you'll see us. We've been picked up by MSNBC, Fox News, a little bit of everybody. You'll see all the places we're in the news. Also, there's little hints and tips. Like one of the things we say is we may not look perfect, but at least we're paying you. There's hits. If you ever get lost, always click the home button or the icon. It will reset all your filters. You can also look at things in different ways. You can look at things as grid view as opposed to a list view, which is more traditional. And I think that's it. I'm going to show you one last thing and finish up my thing here. So one of the things we do is we call ourselves an ethical social network. And there's three very specific reasons. The first reason is that we treat people like partners. Anytime money is made because of them on our site, which includes scrolling by ads or anybody they invited, we share 50% of that revenue back. That's the big thing. We treat them, we respect their time, and we treat them properly, in our opinion. The second thing is privacy. We do not sell or collect any user data whatsoever. And that's important. We do not share it with anybody. We don't sell it to anybody. The last thing is we're a referral network, which means everybody got to us from somebody. Whether it was an invite, a company or something, or a charity or a network like yourself, they got here from somebody. The top of the referral line is not the company. It's not an officer. It is a completely separate 501c3, separate nonprofit charity. There are two companies involved. There's KeepOnSharing, and then KeepOnSharing LLC, and KeepOnSharing Charity Foundation. The LLC covers all of the overhead on the charity foundation, so that 100% of the proceeds that end up in the charity foundation can be distributed to other charities and people in need. So that means every time anyone's on our site doing anything, they're always generating money for the community. And these three things are why we consider ourselves an ethical social network. It's all about treating our users ethically and respecting their time. One of the things people ask is, do you have phone apps? So there's an Android app you can find on the Android App Store. I'm sorry, your Play Store. I think it's called Play Store, the App Store, whatever. It's the Android Play Store. We have an iPhone app, but it is not on the iPhone App Store. And the reason is very simple. We were approved. We were all set. The challenge is that if we put our app on their App Store, they take 30% of all charity money. And that's not going to happen for us. It's just their policies, and there's no way we're going to change their policies. We talk about real quick is when Elon Musk bought Twitter. There's a blue check mark. I'm verified, and that costs $8 anywhere else. But if you do it on the iPhone, it's $11. Why is it 11 versus 8? It's a 30% increase. And so if Elon Musk can't get them to change their policies, I'm not going to get them to change their policy. So anyways, that's the reason.
Right.
That's the reason we're not on there.
Okay.
Last thing is we usually get questions. How much does it cost? It's free. Unless you want to do advertising, it's free. Second thing, how do you get on? You can just log on, get a referral code, get somebody who sent you an invite, and you can invite people by sharing content, referral codes, invites. And then the last thing is that we are always asked for us to ask, what do we want? What are we looking for? What's our ask? We are looking for three things: networks, influencers, charities, anything with a large group of people. That's what we're looking for. We are looking for news cycles, journalists. We are in a David versus Goliath fight with Facebook, with Instagram, with TikTok. We are all about trying to treat people ethically, a movement to treat them and respect them more instead of just publishing everything that they do in their content without giving them anything for it. And the third thing, we're always looking for VCs, marketing partners. We're always growing, and those are things that we're always looking for. And what's important here is that anything that comes in off of anything that's referred to us, anything that comes in off that is your referral. We would not get to them if it wasn't for you. So anything that comes from that is all part of your referral line. I'm done.
Excellent.